Hello, good morning and welcome to Sports Century, turning back on your screens this beautiful morning it is to look at what's happening in the exciting world of sports. Well, today we'll have the Nigeria Premier Football League midweek matches scheduled to go down today and tomorrow. And of course, it is also the last match day, particularly as we're looking forward to the playoffs of the UEFA Champions League next round of action and even the round of 16. Today would be the last league games across all centers of the UEFA Champions League, and those matches are scheduled to go down simultaneously. We'll take a look at the fixtures. We'll also look at the exciting world of tennis as the Australian Open is gradually getting towards the business end of it. Some players have already made it to the semi-finals of this competition, and we'll look at the big winners and of course the unfortunate losers as we progress. We'll also take a look at the world of transfers this morning. The January transfer window is still up and running with players leaving left, right and center. As regards what we'll be looking forward to at the shots of the January transfer window. All of these will be talked about extensively on the show. But before then, we'll quickly bring you up to speed with big developments making rounds in the exciting world of sports. I am Mutabe David, and welcome once again to the show. Well, we begin the conversation from the world of tennis, where Lorenzo Mussetti's hopes of ending his Grand Slam drought against Novak Djokovic in Melbourne. The Italian was forced to retire while leading 4-6, 6-3, 1-3 in the Pace Australian Open quarterfinal clash. Stepping onto Rod Laver Arena, having lost all three previous meetings with Djokovic at the majors, Mussetti had produced the superb all-around quarter-final display to open a 2-set lead, but he appeared to enjoy his opportunity after receiving treatment from the physio at 1-2. He was ultimately forced to stop after 2 hours and 8 minutes of play. By stepping on court Wednesday, Djokovic became the third man after Jimmy Connors and Roger Federer to compete in 1,400 to claim sole ownership of the record for the most Australian Open singles match wins. It stands at 103. Yet the former world number one in the ATP rankings will know he will have to produce a markedly improved performance if he wants to overcome two-time defending champions Jannik Sinner or Ben Shelton in the Final Four. Away from that to the WTA scene, on the evidence of what Iga Swiatek showed across the first 4 rounds, it never truly felt like she would complete the career Grand Slam at this year's Australian Open. Swiatek's bid for the clean sweep was ended by Elena Rybakina in the Melbourne quarterfinals, with the Kazakh 5th seed triumphing 7-5, 6-1. Reigning Wimbledon champion Swiatek's serve has been far from solid during the tournament, the Pole having won fewer games with the ball than any other quarterfinalist and being broken the most times alongside Coco Gauff. Swiatek changed her service technique during the off-season, but the 24-year-old has historically struggled against aggressive opponents on the quicker Melbourne courts. And former Wimbledon champion Rybakina, known for her powerful game from the baseline, ruthlessly took advantage. Rybakina immediately took control of the second set, her ground strokes flying through the court, and Swiatek could do the halt in that momentum. Rybakina, runners-up in 2023, will face American 6th seed Jessica Pegula in Thursday's semi-finals. Away from that to handball, the hopes of Nigeria's Golden Arrows reaching the semi-finals of the 2026 African Championship on Wednesday after a heavy defeat to Egypt. Nigeria began the tournament in impressive fashion, winning all their group matches and emerging as one of the favorites to challenge for the title. A dominant group stage performance raised expectations of a deep run in the competition. However, the campaign took a downward turn in the knockout phase. Following a disappointing loss to Angola, the Golden Arrows struggled to regain their momentum when they faced Egypt in the classification encounter. Egypt proved too strong for the Nigerian side, dominating proceedings from start to finish to secure a convincing 48-22 victory. The results brought Nigeria's African Championship journey to an abrupt end, while Egypt advanced and kept their semi-final hopes alive. Red Bull driver Ishaq Hadja crashed the sky in wet conditions on the second day of Formula One pre-season testing in Barcelona. The 21-year-old Frenchman, promoted to the senior Red Bull team for 2026 after just one season in Formula One, lost control at the fast final corner and hit the barriers. The test is being held in private with no access for independent media, and Red Bull have not responded to requests for comments on the incident. The track was still damp and the weather was drizzly when he went off, spinning the heating and hitting the barrier backwards. Until then, Red Bull had continued their encouraging progress of the first day, and Max Verstappen had had his first run in the car in the morning session. Red Bull have only one further day of the running permitted to them under the rules of the test, having been out on track on both days so far. To the world of football, where England striker Tammy Abraham has completed an £18.25 million return to Aston Villa from Besiktas. The 28-year-old has struggled and has signed a 4.5-year deal at the Premier League title challengers as he moves back to England for the first time since joining Roma in 2021. Abraham was on loan at Besiktas from Roma, but the Turkish club activated their buy option on Monday for £11 million, so Villa will pay the fee of €21 million to them. Villa boss Unai Emery had been looking for a striker to support Oli Watkins and has a long-standing interest in Abraham, who had a loan spell at the club in 2018 and 2019 and helped them earn promotion from the Championship with 26 goals.